Сергей Владимирович согласен с вашими выводами и предложениями. Для нас жизнь и здоровье российских военнослужащих всегда является приоритетом. Мы должны принимать во внимание и угрозу для гражданского населения. Убедитесь, что все желающие из числа гражданского населения смогли выехать.
Food security is one of the most pressing issues on the agenda at the COP27 summit in Egypt. Developing countries in particular are having to find solutions to adapt to the impact of climate change on agriculture. In Kenya, farmers will begin using genetically modified maize seeds early next year as the country prepares to commercialise genetically modified crops. The government says the approved varieties have been subject to rigorous safety trials, but some farmers are arguing that it's not the solution to the growing food crisis in the region. The BBC's Richard Kagoe reports.
Eva Wanjiru is a farmer in Kiangwashe in Sagana, central Kenya. She's been practicing organic farming for 7 years now. She does not use pesticides, hybrid seeds and synthetic fertilizer in her 1-acre farm. She's concerned about the government's new policy on GMOs. There's a lot of misinformation and misconceptions that has made farmers worry about adopting GMO crops.
In the 1920s, 1930s, we didn't have diabetes. We never had chronic diseases like the heart diseases. We never had stroke issues. Every now and then people are getting strokes. We never had so many diseases like cancer was not there. But what we eat is what brings about these diseases. And you're making what we eat worse than it already is. So you're bringing in more chronic diseases. So I feel we are killing a generation.
Agriculture is the backbone of Kenya's economy, employing 80% of the rural population. Majority of the agriculture is rain-fed, and most of the farmers are smallholders. This means they rely on their crops not only as a source of income, but also as a source of food for their families. The Horn of Africa is grappling with the most devastating drought in 4 decades. Rains have failed for 5 consecutive seasons, leaving the water sources dry. There's little food for humans and animals. Kenya removed the ban to provide an alternative way of increasing food production and averting recurring famines in future.
We check on all parameters of safety within international standards, and the experience over the last 26 years, there has not been any credible report of effect on human health or animal health or even the environment.
Scientists championing GMO say the technology will reduce Africa's dependence on food imports because it will boost production.
We have had situations where we have had farmers coming, visiting our research materials in the field, and they come out and tell us, where is the seed? We should embrace the technology and see it as a part solution of the challenges that we are facing. What can it offer more than what are the concerns?
A survey conducted by non-governmental organization Route to Food Initiative last year showed that 57% of Kenyans do not welcome GMOs. Kenya is the 8th country in the continent to approve the use of genetically modified foods. Richard Kagoe, BBC.
Let's go to Georgia now and begin with that breaking news out of Georgia and the Senate race there. Ellison Barber is in Atlanta for us. Ellison?
Hey, Kate, I went to bed last night with both campaigns telling me that they felt good and they thought that their candidate might be able to eke out a win. This morning, both campaigns seem to be hinting at the likelihood of a runoff. Now we know this race will head to a runoff on December 6th. The rules here in Georgia is that a candidate has to win with a majority of the vote. If no candidate receives over 50%, then the top 2 candidates head to a runoff in December. We will see incumbent Senator Raphael Warnock, a Democrat, and Republican Herschel Walker continue this race in the next couple of weeks. Look, we knew this was going to be a close race going into it. The campaigns were saying they expected this to be close. The polls showed this was going to be close. We were reporting that you should keep an eye out on split ticket voters, Republican-leaning voters who said they were going to support Republican Governor Brian Kemp, but then were either going to split their ticket in the Senate race or just weren't entirely sure what they were going to do. That seems to have been a factor here. The Libertarian candidate polling about 2% of the vote. When you compare Herschel Walker's totals in Republican strongholds next to Governor Kemp's returns, you see that Herschel Walker did underperform in quite a few Republican strongholds. And if you compare some of those numbers to Donald Trump in 2020, you look at a place like Chattooga County, Georgia. That's a very rural, very Republican county in northwest Georgia. Donald Trump won that with 80% of the vote in 2020. Herschel Walker was about 2% behind that. So underperforming 2 to 3% in these Republican strongholds. It seems to have had an impact for the Walker campaign here. And right now, we are going to be headed to a December runoff. Kate?
All right, Ellison, thank you. Let's go to Chief White House Correspondent Kristen Welker. She's at the White House. So, Kristen, this really does matter because now we've got a runoff and potentially it will really, really matter for control of the Senate.
It could matter. It could make all of the difference, Kate. There's no doubt about that. Look, this is what the White House and, as Ellison just laid out, both campaigns have been bracing for, that this would head to a runoff. One top Biden advisor just telling me this is what we expected. We are upbeat. A runoff without Brian Kemp on the ticket helping Walker is a great shot for Warnock. So that is how they are viewing this, Kate. And this fits into the broader tone here at the White House, upbeat. They were bracing for what they feared would be a red wave. That did not happen overnight. Now, of course, they are looking at smaller gains in the House by Republicans, a chance to hold on to the Senate. So they like their chances. But again, so much is at stake here. The president's agenda, he is going to address the results at 4 p.m. today. A chance to ask him about all of this.
Meet Brittany. When I open up her Instagram and click on an account that's been recommended in her feed, I'm greeted by a meme falsely declaring that President Joe Biden never really won the 2020 election, and several others targeting named female politicians with misogynistic comments and abusive language. Brittany is one of 5 profiles I've created to track what US voters can be recommended and exposed to online ahead of the midterm elections.
These characters were created to reflect a range of views across the US political spectrum, and they're based on data from the Pew Research Center. They have social media profiles across the 5 main sites. And while they can't offer an exhaustive view into what US voters are seeing on social media, they can give us a snapshot into what they're being recommended, targeted with, and exposed to online.
As I've checked into each of their accounts over the past 2 months, it's populist right Brittany's account that has been most frequently exposed to violent and misleading content. To set up her account, I followed pages opposing billionaires and abortion, and liked lots of content that was very supportive of former President Donald Trump. Now, on Instagram, she's been recommended more and more accounts that made false claims about fraudulent voting and denied that President Biden won the election, using hashtags like Trump won and promoting conspiracy theories about the recent attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband. They also feature posts talking about female politicians like Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris in abusive and misogynistic terms. Progressive left Emma, who likes accounts about the Black Lives Matter movement, the environment and women's rights, was recommended pages that promoted naming and shaming racists and Trump supporters, but the rhetoric has not escalated in the same way that it has for Brittany's accounts. Stressed sideliner Gabriella, who liked lots of groups and pages about her local community and hobbies, not politics, has been increasingly recommended right-leaning content on social media, often about inflation. Faith and Flag Larry, who is pro-guns and a committed Republican, and Democratic mainstay Michael, a teacher passionate about the unions, were targeted more frequently by official campaign adverts and content from the political parties themselves, especially on sites like YouTube. For Larry, on crime, inflation and immigration. For Michael, the adverts and posts talked about abortion, climate change and education.
The increase in disinformation and hate I've seen on my undercover voters' social media feeds fits into a wider pattern. The Institute for Strategic Dialogue, which tracks disinformation online, says that election conspiracy theories and abuse targeting politicians has intensified in the weeks leading up to the midterms. Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, told the BBC that it has robust measures in place to combat misinformation, including partnerships with 10 fact-checking organisations in the US. It also said it has clear policies about what is and isn't allowed on its platforms, and that it continually reviews content to see if it violates policies. And now there are concerns that layoffs and potential changes to moderation policies on Twitter, which Elon Musk now owns, could also lead to an increase in online disinformation on polling day. Twitter insists that while they have lost colleagues, their core moderation capabilities remain in place. While these undercover voters might not be real, the kind of disinformation and hate some have been exposed to online can have a real-world impact on how people vote, action offline, and democracy. As votes are counted and the results are declared, it remains to be seen if the social media sites have passed this test.
Welcome back to our CBS News election headquarters. We're getting breaking news on new race results and want to bring those straight to you. Texas governor, CBS News predicts Greg Abbott will win re-election as governor of Texas. That means Beto O'Rourke has lost another campaign. And we have a race update in Pennsylvania. The governor's race there is now likely Democratic for Josh Shapiro. Very quickly on that Texas governor's race, Nancy Cordes, inside those numbers.
Nora, we're being told that Uvalde, Texas, the site of that horrific mass shooting at an elementary school earlier this year, actually went overwhelmingly for Greg Abbott, for Governor Abbott, who has made it clear that he is not going to tighten gun restrictions in that state. Beto championed the people of Uvalde. He argued that people should have more gun restrictions, that the guns should not proliferate the way that they have. But Governor Abbott won that area overwhelmingly.
How do we explain that when Uvalde is so top of mind? The parents were so angry and in such pain.
Well, I think, Texas is still a Republican state. It's a conservative state. That's a conservative area. It's a rural area. And, while parents were frustrated, they perhaps were more frustrated with the way that local police handled the situation than they were with the state's gun laws.